everybody, welcome to another Nephilim build. Today we're going to slash and burn as Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho. As always, keep in mind that these videos are about capturing the spirit of the character rather than capturing their abilities perfectly. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm only the third person on YouTube to try and make Hiei in D&D. As in, I've only found 2 other videos doing it. Shout out to Alexander Leonum and the Hobby Hub. Anyways, with that said, let's start with ability scores. Using the standard point array with the 15 to dexterity, Hiei can slay someone 17 times in an instant. Spoiler warning, that ain't happening here. Added that's the 14 in charisma. Edgelords might be a meme these days, but Hiei still makes it look good. Next we'll put the 13 in constitution. He's pretty tanky. We'll put the 12 into wisdom. He's got that 20-20-20 vision, and then we'll put the 10 to strength. Lastly, we'll dump intelligence. Hiei is a doer, not a thinker. For race, we're gonna go with the Mephistopheles Tiefling. Kania is frozen, and this will give us a little fire later. That's both halves of Hiei's lineage right off the bat. We'll put our increases into wisdom and dexterity and get dark vision of 60 feet, hellish resistance, and legacy of Kania, giving us mage hand for a little telekinesis. We'll also speak common and infernal. For background, we'll go with criminal, getting criminal contact, deception and stealth, thieves tools, and dice. Yes, there is a bandit background, but it's basically a variation of criminal, except you swap deception for animal handling, and the background feature is more animal smuggling specific. Moving on to class, we're going to start off as a monk. We'll get strength and dexterity saving throws and pick athletics and acrobatics. We'll also be proficient with simple weapons, short swords, and calligrapher supplies. Hiei is too edgy for giggles. At level 1 we'll get martial arts and unarmored defense, and level 2 we'll get key, unarmored movement, and dedicated weapon. We're now going to multi-class the fighter, getting light and medium armor, shields, and all weapons. Gotta get that dex-based longsword. At level 1 we get second wind in our fighting style, taking great weapon fighting. We'll also get a free cast of burning hands from our race. Back to monk, at level 3 we'll get deflect missiles in our monastic tradition, taking the way of the ascendant dragon. This will give us breath of the dragon and draconic disciple. We now have the fist of the mortal flame. At level 4 we'll get slow fall and infernal constitution, giving us cold resistance on top of our fire resistance. We'll also get a free cast of flame blade. And no, this isn't our sword of the darkness flame. At level 5 we'll get extra attack and stunning strike. We're now going to multi-class to Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. I'd say about half of his powers come from the Jagan Eye, and that thing is freaky. At level 1 we'll get telepathic speech, mind sliver, and 4 other cantrips. We'll take message for more telepathy, prestidigitation for effects, and firebolt. We'll also take green flame blade, but don't worry, this isn't our sword of the darkness flame either. Now we get to our subclass spells. If you didn't know, Aberrant Mind and Clockwork Soul let you swap one of their expanded spells once per level for another spell. That spell has to be a sorcerer, warlock, or wizard spell of the same level, and it has to be one of 2 specific schools. Apparently the 2024 rules are getting rid of that, but I'm making this before those rules come out. But to make editing easier, I'm not gonna swap them out, just list the new spell at the level I swap to it. With that said, I'm taking Detect Magic and 2 other spells. We'll take Mage Armor for a better AC and Shield to block. At level 2 we'll get Font of Magic and take Detect Evil and Good and Charm Person for some mind control. At level 3 we'll get Meta Magic, taking Empowered Spell and Transmuted Spell. This will come into play later. We'll also get Detect Thoughts and take Flame Blade. This version will be our Sword of the Darkness Flame, once we upcast it. At level 4, we'll raise our charisma and take Blade Ward to fill the slot, as well as Suggestion for more mind control and Hold Person for the Jagan Binding Curse. At level 5, we get Magical Guidance, Sending for more telepathy, and Haste for more speed. At level 6, we'll get Psionic Sorcery and Psychic Defenses. We'll also take Clairvoyance for some remote viewing and Agonizer Scorcher for Flamethrower. That's what the wiki calls it. I haven't actually seen Yu Yu Hakusho since the original Toonami days. I also missed a lot of episodes since I was a kid and wasn't always allowed to stay up that late. I really need to rewatch it someday. At level 7 we'll take Arcane Eye for more spying and Jump to Jump Good. At level 8 we'll raise our dexterity and take Lucky Creature for more spying. We'll also take Enhance Ability for S-Class Demon Feats. At level 9 we'll take Scrying for our last spying spell, as well as Cone of Cold. We'll transmute this to fire damage for Dragon of the Darkness Flame. Side note, why do we have so many fire spells but not a high level cone attack? At level 10 we'll get another Meta Magic, taking Quicken Spell. We'll also take True Strike to fill the slot, Modify Memory to erase memories, and Telekinesis. And yes, I know Telekinesis is on the expanded spell list, but Scrying and Modify Memory aren't on the Sorcerer spell list. At level 11 we'll get Hold Monster for a stronger Jagan Binding Curse, and at level 12 we'll raise our Charisma. At level 13 we'll take Levitate for more Telekinesis. Friendly reminder that if you want to target a creature, use Levitate instead of Telekinesis, because you don't need an ability check every turn to maintain it. Lastly, at level 14 we'll get Revelation and Flash for our Giganshi form. Doesn't actually give us any damage boosts, but it nails the aesthetic. Now that we're level 20, we finally have our modifiers. For inventory, we'll take a longsword and an amulet for spellcasting. Our AC with mage armor is 17, our burn speed is 40, and our average HP is 130 with 1d10, 5d8, and 14d6 hit dice. And with that, we are done. Now what can this build do? To start, we're pretty solid in melee with 3 attacks per round and a decent AC with 4 different resistances. Yep, 4. We took Infernal Constitution for cold resistance, but we also get poison resistance from it. We can also pop haste for more attacks and AC, and we've got a nice meaty AoE spell to nuke with. We can also play some mind games and are an expert in espionage with all of our divination spells. For weaknesses, we only have a handful of offensive spells, only 2 of them are useful, and 1 of them has to be upcast to be useful. And even when we upcast it, Flame Blade still isn't as good as just using our sword, unless your DM lets you use extra attack with it. Our Demmed Intelligence means that Mind Flayers are still going to be a problem even with the resistance to psychic damage, and we have less HP than I'd like. We also have uncapped melee and spellcasting scores. Weaknesses aside, we're in an S-class of our own. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description. $1 a month gives you 2-day early access to my videos, a chance to vote for future characters, and access to all of my homebrew content. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments, and I'll see you all next time when I make King K. Rool from Donkey Kong.